There, how we all doing today? Today we are taking a look at a special Seiko dive watch, Seiko Prospex. You could tell by the black box we got here. This is a special collector's box. We're looking at a Seiko Prospex, and this model is a cave diver watch. So let's get that little box over here, and in here you've got, of course, your booklets. The most exciting part of the video, the booklets. But I'll forget to show you, and then someone will be like, oh, where's the warranty card stuff? All right, so here we go. It's in the yellow pouch, and we can see that kind of teal blue popping out. This is really a beautiful looking dial, even through that mesh bag. Oh man, take a look at it. I like the black model, the SLA075, and I like this model, the SLA073. Both of them are great additions here, and this has just been quietly announced. Here we could take a look at the band, a solid metal construction. Get a lot of complaints about the band. You know, they want extra micro adjustments and stuff. You got a little bit there, but a lot of other watch companies have got a lot more going on with that. But you know, Seiko kind of likes to keep things simple, less things to break down on your watch or get jammed up. But man, check out that dial. It is so killer. I can kind of play with this watch probably for the next 20 minutes, and then I'll just be talking to you guys about it because that dial is just amazing. This is an SLA. SLA is basically you're looking at kind of like a bear down, not as decorated version of a Grand Seiko movement here. So SLAs, you're getting into the 8L movements, and this caliber, it is a 8L35, and just killer. I mean, look at the bezel. Look how easy it is to move it and everything. The bezel is a black bezel. In the lighting here, it gives it kind of like that blue-green sheen to the black, but it is really more of a black, and you see it in some of the other videos I'm taking here of the watch. It's just in this light, it looks a little bit like that. The crystal is got the anti-reflective coating, and it is, of course, a dual curved sapphire crystal. All right, and you can see it chugging along there. You can see how the date has been moved between the 4 and the 5 o'clock, so that way you see all the markers. You've got to see all the markers now with the new standard for diving watches. So because it's a professional dive watch, that's why that date is in a unusual place for those of you who aren't used to Seiko and the dive placement, the dates and dive placements recently. Okay, this is of course an automatic watch, the 8L35 like we talked about. It is a 50-hour power reserve, and that is a 26 jeweled movement. Now you can see it. I moved around the dial a little bit so you can kind of get an effect. This is a cave diver watch. That's what they're promoting it as, and I really don't know how many cave divers there are in the world, let alone the United States, since this is a United States model. And but it's just cool. And one of the cool things about this watch is the lume on it. We'll talk about that when we get this guy in the dark. They kind of added it because of the cave diving feature, but I think it's a great feature that really helps with dive watches. And this one, you know, it's a cool watch. It reminds me of the 55 and the 57 that came out last year, but the price point on this one is a lot lower than the 4200 Yes, I know. There's probably grumblings there about, oh yeah, about the price. The that 20 that close to around 3,000 is inexpensive, but for what you're getting, really, with the introductory Grand Seiko movement and everything. Here you can see it. See the little marks on the dial there? It kind of reminds me of the inside the cave. You know, it looks almost like they're kind of like ripped up, or like the stalactites and stalagmites there. Yeah, bringing you guys back to fourth grade science class. So Seiko makes in-house calibers, the 8L35. It is based on the Grand Seiko caliber 9555, and it's specially designed for dive watches. And again, like I said, it's about 50-hour power reserve. Here we can see the watch on my wrist. It's got a pretty big wrist presence, but the way Seiko lugs kind of curve down, it doesn't feel big. It doesn't feel big, even though it looks a little bit bigger on my wrist. And the case size is a 42.6 diameter, and again, my wrist size is about 7.5 inch wrist. And this one's got the stainless steel bracelet on it, and it's just nice. I'm glad they finally came out with one of these, also with the stainless steel bracelet instead of them all being that. But it would have been even cooler as if you got the bracelet and the band. Just saying, Seiko, throwing a band there, here and there, especially for, how much these bands have been going for. If you're trying to get them, from Seiko parts wise. And here we go. Let's take a look at it in the dark. And here you can see what I was telling you about. You see the little marker there on the 12, the pip there. It is glowing green. The rest of it is kind of like a blue green, like a teal. But you got that one, right there on the bezel, and then you got the minute hand. Now, when you're timing your air tank there in dive watches, you are going to move that bezel to set it at the minute you kind of went down and you're using your tank. What's neat about this is, because everything's glowing the same color, it's hard to see which one's your minute hand in weird places, or if you're looking at your watch real quick, just to kind of get, an idea where you're at. But that green and the green on the bezel really help to see it from far away. So it kind of gives you that kind of idea of where you're at, and I think that's a neat feature that, probably be useful to put in other dive watches, not just the cave divers. We can't let the cave divers have all the fun now. Again, just beautiful, beautiful loom. I'd like to thank you guys for watching the